Hello everyone, welcome to our live streaming for inflation. A very important release ahead, especially now that we don't have any clarity for the US economy, whether you are actually in a recession, actually in a slowdown. We had a lot of mixed signals lately. So we need clarity. The markets are seeking for clarity, and that's why we have seen such a mixed performance ahead, let's say, for ahead of the inflation today. Clarity due to Mr. Trump fear of tariffs, fears basically, due to the geopolitics, due to the weak economic data, due to the fact that Fed is also now the odds for a rate cut is 50-50 for May. So hopefully today inflation will give us clarity for the US economy. So I'm not gonna keep you waiting. Obviously, we are way earlier than the release, but the reason why I chose to do that today is because I want us to see basically check the assets one by one, put some patterns on, identify some patterns, get prepared, let's say, for the release that will be in an hour, less than an hour. Let me double check. Actually, no, sorry, I'm confused. In 5 minutes. So I'm confusing the GMT plus 2 with GMT plus 3. Sorry, my bad. So as I was saying, clarity. Considering the US inflation, so let me also show you gold. I know that the majority of you are gold lovers. Yes, I see gold. What shall we do? Buy or sell? I cannot tell you what to do, but hear me out right now regarding gold. Okay, dear? So, sharing screen. Here is gold. Sorry, in a 5 minutes chart. Here we are. Actually, I'm going to start with the 1 hour chart because I want you to see that we have been, we could call it a range, okay? We could call it a range, right? It looks like a range bouncing between 29.11 and 29.22, ranging ahead of the data. I'm going to go higher, okay? I'm going to go higher. Actually, allow me. Don't worry, it's not like we are good. It's just my setup. So let me put the lines again. That's the 30 minutes chart. A clear range has been seen since 11:30 server time today. Okay, that's our immediate intraday short-term support and resistance level. And I'm gonna go higher because I want to show you the overall trend. Okay, what's the overall picture, let's say, of gold. This is the daily chart, and the reason why I want to show you that is because we need to have an understanding of what's the immediate ceiling, let's say, and the immediate resistance for gold in higher time frames. So that should be the one, 2880, and another one over here. Okay, so that is sideways move, ranging market basically in the higher time frame as well, after seeing record highs. So we have put some nice support and resistance levels over here, and I'm gonna zoom in down to the 30 minutes chart ahead of the announcement. So my dear friends, even the 15 minutes chart, so we can see that the whole day, this is 15 minutes chart for gold. I'm gonna write it down for you, okay? Gold 15 minutes chart. You should know that if an asset, I think you already know, the majority of your traders don't know whether we have newbies over here or not, or experienced traders. But if an asset, if the asset retests several times a support or resistance level, or pushing, but fails to break it, that presents a very strong level, right? So we have a very strong level intraday, at least in the very short time frame, at 29.20, and a very strong immediate support level at 29.08. Okay, that is another one, basically a closer one, which we have a repeated ceiling, 29.10. Let me round it up a bit. But because of this latest swing low, I'm putting this like a zone. Let's call it a zone. This is a nice, strong support zone. So, usually, especially ahead of key releases, people, long-term traders, day traders, get prepared, put some pending orders. So these levels are hiding pending orders, simply because these areas were retested several times. So a break, confirmed break, I'm repeating that, guys, okay? Confirmed break. So the candle in which you are trading, if you are a scalper, you will be in a 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Or if you are a day trader, intraday trader, and you're trading an hour, 4 hour, you need to wait for your candle, the one that you're usually trading. If you are a 1 hour trader, then the 1 hour candle. If you are a 4 hour trader, the 4 hour candle to close. So a confirmed candle, close candle above any of these levels, or basically above 29.20 or below 29.8, will confirm the possible direction of gold in the near term. Okay, of course, we're going to have a lot of market noise from the inflation figure today, and it's out. Is it? It's out. So, oh, that looks to be a really muted. So there is no reaction yet. It's weird. Come on. Euro dollar reacted. Let me put the 5-minute chart for gold. This is the 5-minute chart for gold. We have some push, but we need to wait another 3 minutes to see whether this 5-minute chart, guys, I'm in a 5-minute chart, okay? 5-minute chart, very limited reaction, very weird reaction. Inflation just now missed expectations, 0.2% below forecast, 3.1% the year-over-year basis. Okay, so we have seen the very first attempt to break the resistance level. Okay, a confirmed closure above the 29.22, as I said, could open the doors to the previous record highs, but it's too early to tell. Okay, so I'm gonna get back to my 30-minute chart. That's the very first attempt, but there was not a significant reaction or volatility as I was expecting. At least 3.1% the yearly base, the headline, the core inflation 2.8% also missed expectations. So very interesting, very interesting. So quite a muted reaction. The inflation missed expectations. It is lower than expected, and we have seen a bit of a muted reaction for gold. I'm gonna jump into the dollar, guys, just to see the reaction in dollars. So this is the reaction in dollar. I'm gonna put the 15-minute chart so we can see a gap down a gap down, but is pushing higher to complete the gap. So the lower inflation, guys, just to clarify things, the lower inflation indicates, okay, that's good news for the Fed, okay? The lower inflation is good news for the Fed. It means that if inflation cools down, and this is what we see right now, we could, this is giving basically a sign to the Fed that they could ease. But, so, and Fed rate cuts, right, is negative for dollar. But instead, we've seen, yes, a gap down in the announcement, but the dollar is trying to regain this gap again and return back. Obviously, we don't have a closure yet, so I'm going to explain. I'm going to jump back into the gold because I know this is the one that you are interested mostly. So still muted reaction, retested 21.20. So let me also check dollar yen because it's another safe haven. Yeah, very muted reaction. And I believe I know why is that, because of the mixed signals. The mixed signals that we have basically. Let me explain. So quite muted reaction. Initially a gap down, which is in line with the inflation release, but a quick attempt to regain these losses. Why is that? This is because the inflation slowed down, right? That's the target for Fed. The Fed wanted to slow it down, to cool it off, in order to support the economy. So that clearly is giving them the sign to the Fed that, you know what, yes, you can proceed with rate cuts because inflation is cooling off a bit. However, we have Mr. Trump at the back with the tariff war. So this is causing confusion and mixed signals. So the weak data that we have seen so far, even the NFP, the NFP that showed 151,000 jobs in February. So downwards revision. So we have weak economy data, we have weak unemployment, we have weaker labor release seen on Friday. However, and this is in line with inflation today, indeed, we have seen that inflation slowed down a bit. So that's giving the fresh light for the Fed to cut rates, okay, which is supposed theoretically is negative for the dollar, positive for gold. However, here we have the exact opposite. The exact opposite reaction. We have a cooler, a bigger than expected slowdown of inflation, cool down of inflation, okay? Even in the annual headline, if I'm not mistaken, even in the monthly headline, yeah, nothing is in line with expectation. We have a bigger than expected cool down, and this is raising the concerns over a potential disinflation path, okay? That's why we are seeing dollar a bit not in line with the results. So we have a nice rebound of dollar over here. So gaining, covered the gap, and it's back to 103.70. Let me jump quickly to the dollar. The gold. The gold is not really reacting in the same way as dollar. So dollar actually, yeah, it seems that the bigger than expected cool down actually, even though this is basically it raised concerns of a disinflation path. What that's supposed to mean? Disinflation is when we have a slowdown in the inflation, but over a short-term period, okay? So it's not deflation, it's disinflation. Sorry for that. So this is basically a particular small period of a slow inflation, or a temporary period of slow inflation. This is not a situation that is harmful for the economy, but it doesn't give the confidence that indeed Fed has indeed the green light to cut rates. So very, very indecision is still, it seems that it's still the case over here with these results. Fed targets, as you know, inflation rate to be at 2%. That's the ultimate goal. But with these results, even though this is what they wanted, that raised the questions whether we have a disinflation situation. So, and that's why the dollar didn't negatively reacted. The prices do not really drop in a period of disinflation, and it is not a signal of economic slowdown. That's why dollar reacted positive so far, right? We're just 10 minutes, 12 minutes after the release, but have in mind that this raised concerns that we might have a disinflation situation. Is not harmful for economy, but is not also a sign that we have economic slowdown. That might be the reason why dollar has been supported, and that might be the reason why safe havens such as gold, such as dollar yen as well, where is my dollar yen, didn't reacted on the data significantly. Okay, this is a dollar yen 15 minutes chart. Overall remains in an uptrend, okay, but let me just put the channel in an up channel to be more precise. 15 minutes chart. Let me just use my, here we are, and improve it. Let me just, that should be, here we are, much better. So momentum is higher, so over it doesn't change. Momentum is still rising. There is no indication for the time being of a reversal. It's just the continuation of the uptrend intraday. So at 148.90, the next resistance level for dollar yen is the 149 and 149.30 level, which is the previous swing high. Okay. And let me also check the breakout of inflation. Guys, are you with me so far? Sorry, it was my bad. We are in Cyprus and server time. I was completely confused. Sorry, my bad, really. Slow, please make the entry. I cannot take a position. I cannot. I'm not allowed to. I can analyze the market, help you with the fundamentals, help you with the technicals, but I cannot tell you what to do. Okay, I'm not allowed. So what I can do is analyze from a technical perspective and theoretical perspective any asset in any time frame that you wish, and you need to do your own analysis and decide whether you want to participate, to join the market or not, and in which direction. So yeah, so as I was saying, still so we have the very first 15-minute candle, undecisive. That's the dollar yen. Dollar 15-minute candle, huge, close positive. Okay, we have tails both at the bottom and on the top, but it's such a big move that if we don't see, let me measure it. Okay, I'm gonna measure it, and the mid of this candle is at here. The mid of the candle is at 103.47. I'm in a 15 minutes chart. As long as in the 15 minutes chart the asset does not return and break below the 103.45 level, then we could see further upside momentum for dollar, further upside move, if and only if, as I said earlier, we don't have a break and a move below the 103.47 level. Momentum market is rising. RSI though is at 57. Let me just switch into my intraday setup. Okay. So what we have over here, let me put again my level over here, 47. So what we have over here, so the intraday stochastic posting higher lows. There is a bit of a pullback, but also as long as you don't see, guys, a breakout of this trend line along in combination with a closure below this zone over here, there is no indication that the dollar will return back to 103 lows or even lower. Okay, this is expected to be a very, very important support level. Okay, so I remind you the data show a cool down of inflation indeed. However, we have the risk of disinflation, which is not bad for the economy, but indicates that we don't have the economic slowdown that we were afraid of the whole week. That's why dollar benefited on the announcement, so far at least. We have PPI this week, so this is also something that could change completely the picture. Now, stick on what you see, okay? So it's good news, basically, okay? For the dollar, at least. Good news for the dollar. Good news in regards to the economic slowdown, because it's not a sign of economic slowdown. So this might support the dollar in the near future, in the near term. Let's jump back to the gold. Okay. The very first 15-minute candle, high Kanashi candle, close positively with a long tail at the top and no tail at the bottom. So that indicates that in the intraday, remind you, 15-minute chart, we might see a limited upwards trend with the very first resistance level at 29.20 and the second possible resistance level at 29.25. So this is a limited move, okay? Limited move. Just in the short time frame. The asset remains in a consolidation, in a ranging market. So that suggests that indeed we might see another retest of the ceiling for gold before another swing lower. If it fails, of course, to break the 29.25 level. You clear so far? Are you okay so far? Gold lovers, okay. Dow Jones. Okay, Dow Jones. Sorry, my bad. I missed your comment. Sorry. Which time? I'm saying right now. Which time frame? Explain, dear. Explain. So, this is Dow Jones. Okay. In general, the stocks have been in red. Significant sell-off has been seen the whole March. Basically, the last nearly more than 3 weeks. Okay. And I'm not sure whether you remember, I used to have a setup of a VB here from DAX, but nonetheless, that's an M formation, and it looks like an M formation. Okay, I'm gonna quickly draw it, sorry. It broken. Let me just put the neckline. Basically broken. To be more precise, this is the neckline here. It broken on Monday. Can you broken on Monday, extended further lower yesterday. So we have an M formation, which is a bearish formation, indicating that if the decline continues, okay, if the decline continues, the Dow could reach 39,100 territory in the medium term. Okay, this is a daily chart. I'm referring to the medium and long term. So M formation is bearish. We have seen it broken. So further decline of Dow could find support down to 39,000. The next support level in a daily chart is at 40,300 territory. Let's round it up. Now, let's zoom in intraday in the 1 hour chart just to see where we're standing. Basically, dear, have you replied to me regarding which time frame you're trading? Just to realize whether you are a scalper, you are Paul, I'm referring to you. I'm asking you. I'm going to keep this one over here, okay? I'm going to keep the daily chart, and I will open a new a new chart for Dow using Heiken dashes for 30 minutes chart. Sorry. Yeah, come on, Andrea. Come on. Okay, here we are. So 30 minutes chart where we as we can see, there was a lot of consolidation, some bullishness has been seen. Okay, a lot of indecisions over here, but the candles remain bullish. Some wicks at the bottom, but the candles are still bullish. The parabolic chart are still in the bottom of the below the candles. Stochastic. Okay, some mixed signals for stochastic. We have a bearish signal, but this is not in line with the performance of the price. So over here, 30 minutes chart, Dow Jones over here indicate that there is not a sign yet for a reversal, for a downtrend, let's say, okay? There is no sign of a reversal yet, okay? So Yeah, nothing really, basically. I don't know if you're selling that. If you're telling Paul that you're selling, how you took this decision? I don't get it, because this is a 1 hour chart, right? You said, in 1 hour chart, my entry is at 41.90. So you took the entry already. 970. So if you took the entry, then you are in a 5 minute chart or something. I don't know how. I don't. I cannot see. I mean, were you scalping? Were you like entered over here and closed here? This is 1 minute chart. In the 1 hour chart, I don't see any confirmation that we're gonna have a pullback yet, at least yet. Okay, even if I put the 30-minute chart, even if I put the 15-minute chart, this candle has not closed yet, so we cannot really tell. Do you get what I mean? So let's wait a bit. Aussie. I'm gonna return back to Dow, okay, and gold and everything, obviously. Gold. What's going on with gold? Remains to the upside. That's the 5 minute chart. Let's wait and see. So let's get back to Aussie. Sorry. To Aussie. Can you analyze, Amar? Can you analyze Aussie in a daily and 4 hour chart? Of course. So what we have over here, Aussie, basically, let me just clear everything. Okay, that's the daily chart. Okay, after a long downtrend, so far this year we have seen Aussie gaining slowly some ground. So I'm gonna put some, just connecting some, the latest. That's not quite as should, but just to have a feeling where is right now compared to where it was at the beginning of the year, and so on and so forth. So that's the daily chart. In the daily chart, we are in it's neutral. The outlook is neutral. We don't have any clarity. Why I'm saying that it's in neutral, even though it rebounded? Because if we compare it with the down leg that we have seen since August, the asset remains below 23% Fibonacci level. So that means that it reverted only less than 23% of the decline that we have since December. So the overall outlook, the medium term outlook, because we're in a daily chart, is neutral for now. Okay, it will get positive if and only if we see a break and a move above not 0.6430 level, which is the 38.2 Fibonacci level, is the previous support converted it into resistance. You see, it's not that just a random support level. Is the 38.2 Fibonacci level, but also is a support level that it used to be a very strong support level. Sorry, it's a resistance level that used to be a very strong support level for more than a year. Basically, yeah, more than a year. Since October 2023. So for the overall outlook, my dear Amar, in order to suggest that Aussie dollar enter a positive medium and long-term outlook, we need to see the asset extending above 0.6330 level, which is a confluence of 38.2 Fibonacci level and the more than a year resistance level, support level converted into resistance. Now, for our chart, let's zoom in a bit. So that looks a bit like a triangle, but I'm gonna open a new chart in order to not to be messy. Okay, so I kept the daily over here. Okay, I kept the daily over here, and let's check the 4-hour one. That looks like a triangle. Not quite sure. Let me do it. Yeah, that looks like a triangle. So, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Something to keep an eye on, guys. So it's looking like a triangle. So that means that even though it's still trading within the triangle, if we see decisive move either above and outside, so we need to see a confirmed candle closing above the triangle, that could open the doors to 63.70 and 63.40. Okay, and even higher, but let's see. And on the flip side, if we have a move outside and below the triangle, and more precisely below 0.6255. Why 55? Because it's the immediate support level over here, retested 4 times. That could open the doors to the March bottom, which is over here at 62 level, 62, 61.95, okay? So yeah, neutral for now, we need a breakout. RSI is flat at 47, so consolidation might continue. It's at the pivot point. There is a lack of clarity. Let me jump back to let me get back to gold though. I want to keep monitoring it. Oh, okay, very interesting. Gold already ran out of steam, it seems. We have, okay, that candle hasn't closed yet, it's just open. But it seems that there is consolidation, there is a lot of indecision. Yeah, look at that, this is a 5-minute chart. So failed to break 29.20 and already started the pullback. The pullback basically is not a correction, a return lower, but we need to see at least our very first candle without any tail at the top in order to suggest that we could have a retest of 29.12 territory. That's a 5-minute chart, guys. Okay, 5-minute chart. So indecision. Let me, out of curiosity, yeah, dollar, as we mentioned earlier, for those that have been here since the beginning of the live, in the very first announcement of the release it seems to be positive for dollar because it is a bit the fear of economic slowdown. So yeah, so we have seen the dollar being supported intraday, at least just retested the first resistance of the day. Moving average, the intraday moving average keep pointing higher, stochastic keep points higher, RSI keeps pointing higher, so there is further room to the upside. Remember that I told you, as long as we don't see a break below the trend line here in my stochastic, there is no indication of a pullback. This is just intraday, guys, okay? We are in a 15-minute chart, scalping. Because if I zoom out and go back to the daily chart, okay, you can see that nothing changed. It's just consolidating. It's bouncing between 103 and 103.70 levels. Just very small daily candles so far. So nothing really. Sorry. Yeah. That's the very short time frame. Next resistance level, sorry, is back to latest weeks. Depends which time you're trading. Obviously, this is the 30-minute chart. So next resistance levels, if the asset breaks the first resistance of the day, will be at 103.90 and 104 level. In higher time frames, yeah, same. Okay, perfect. Now let's move to the euro yen. Euro yen for Pascal. I thought I saw somewhere euro yen. Never mind. 4-hour chart, you said. Euro yen. Okay. Euro yen 4-hour chart for Pascal. Heiken Ashes remain bullish without any lower wick. Parabolic SAR remain bullish. MACD remains bullish. Stochastic is a bit flat, but still positive. There is no indication of a pullback. There is no move below the overbought territory. There is no move below the 50 level. So remains positive, my dear friend. Even though, let me check something, because the last two, this candle just, it's about to close in an hour. This candle is about to close in an hour, okay? So, I just noticed that, sorry, let me just move it over here. I just noticed that it didn't manage to break. I mean, we don't have a higher high. So that raises concerns for the time being on whether we might see consolidation, but nothing really yet, okay? Remains bullish. So let me zoom in into the 1-hour chart to see what's going on. Yes, indeed. So it's struggling to extend above 162.33. But dear Pascal, for the time being, there is no indication of a pullback. There is no negative candle. We don't just need a negative candle. We need a negative, decisive one without any wick on the top. We need to see all this to be a bearish signal, to be aligned also with parabolic SAR and with our indicators. So for the timing, it's sideways. Overall, looks positive. You can see that we have consecutive bullish candles. So if it managed to extend above 162.33 level, next resistance level, next ceiling can be seen at, let me check, 164 or even 164.80 level. However, a failure to break this immediate ceiling and a bearish signal lower, okay, could find, sorry. So, sorry, let me just, should be somewhere here. Just, however, let me measure it just to be absolutely sure. Yeah, better one over here. Yeah, so for euro yen, in order to suggest that we might see a correction, a pullback, anything, we need to see the asset failing to extend above 162.30, but also we need a decisive bearish candle and with the next immediate support level at 161. And if the asset managed to break 161, that could open the doors to 159 level. Okay? Clear? And okay, you can use your Fibonacci's for taking partial profits, locking some profits at 50% and 65%. So that means at 160.75 and 160 level. Is that okay, Pascal? Is it clear? Do you need any help? Suleiman, we have weekly live streamings like this one, but we have weekly webinars every Tuesday and Wednesday. Everything is on our website. Join us. We do prepare course, to be honest, but I don't want to mention anything right now because it might take a long time until we manage to release it. Okay, so for the time being is webinars, seminars, and live streamings as well. Pound yen should be very, very similar with euro yen, my dear friend. So let me just, sorry, I want to keep an eye on gold as well. Oh, okay, I'm gonna come back to it. Okay, pound yen for now, just very, very quickly. Pound yen. Where's my pound yen? Pound yen. Never mind. Let's open a new one. Pound yen. Much appreciated, dear. So, Miriam, well done. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Didn't notice that. This is the 1 hour chart, pound yen. Broken a very nice trend. Okay, I've seen the trend, but I didn't notice this morning earlier, basically, that it managed to break the 192.50 level. That's a key ceiling. Why is a key ceiling that has been broken? Because if you notice, has been a ceiling the last more than a month. Okay, and if let me show you why. The asset, this is pound yen, guys, okay? This is pound yen. And it has been, let's say, is some kind of a descending triangle, okay? Not the perfect one, but a descending triangle since December, the end of December, the whole year, basically. So, we had a nice rebound in general in March, but it didn't manage to break the previous high, which was back to 192.50, 192.80. So today, and basically the last 2 hours to be more precise, not only it broken the descending triangle, but it also broken the first resistance of the day and the immediate ceiling, which is holding basically since the very, very first week of February. So if I go down to the 1 hour chart, you will be able to see what I'm telling you. Okay, that's difficult. Let me just put the 4 hour chart instead. You see? Here's where we are right now. So, broken. Oops. Momentum indicators, momentum moving average keep pointing higher. Bullish breakout of descending triangle, breakout of previous swing high, breakout of resistance level, of the very first intraday resistance level. Momentum is looking that is changing, it's turning positive. RSI points further to the upside. So it seems that we have bullish bias in pound yen, with the next resistance at 192.40 and the very next one at between basically 192.70 and 195. So let me draw a triangle over here because it would be a key ceiling if the asset continues. But even if I put a zoom into the 1 hour chart, that's a quite strong trend for the time being. MACD is rising. Okay, RSI points lower, but it's still above 70, so there's nothing really serious for the time being. If I connect the lows, you can see that as long as it doesn't move below this trend line, it's okay. So yeah, we have a nice strong trend intraday for pound yen, with the next ceiling 193.45 and 194.70. Out of curiosity, I'm gonna check also pound yen for using Heiken Ashi candles for a 1 hour chart. Nice. Still on. Still on. This seems to be the case. 30 minutes chart, still on. Okay, we have like lower high, but this candle needs another 15 minutes to go to finish. So, yeah, okay. Very important, very important. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you for bringing that up, dear Miriam. Now, back to gold, of course, back to gold. Okay, guys, for intraday traders, 15 minutes chart, reversed. So 1912 is the next support, as I said. Consolidation, that's a range market, remains the case for gold due to the mixed signals, let's say, from inflation. Yes, from the one hand, slower inflation, which is what the Fed wanted in order to proceed with the further cuts, but fear of disinflation, not fear, basically signal of disinflation. So let me break it down. Lower inflation, such as further rate cuts. Further rate cuts is negative for dollar, right? Positive for gold. On the flip side, however, we might see disinflation conditions, which is not a signal of economic slowdown, okay? And that is something that supports the dollar and adds pressure on gold. So that's why we have to contract opposite factors affecting the gold right now and keeping it. So disinflation, fear keeps gold, is the ceiling of gold, let's say, and something that's and Fed cuts supports the gold. So squeeze, keeping it sideways. So fundamentals, keeping it sideways. So gold in a 4-hour chart, I don't think that will change something. Look at that. Doji. No clarity still. Still no clarity. I think it's even clearer. Flat moving averages. Doji Heiken Ashi candles. Nothing really. Nothing, I'm afraid. Sorry. 1 minute chart for gold. Okay. Challenge accepted. Tom. Whoa, okay. Nice, Tom. Nice. So, Tom, obviously you are a scalper, you are a fast trader. Heiken Ashi candles, bearish Heiken Ashi candles indicate decline for the 1 minute chart. Guys, I don't want you to get confused. Tom is trading in a 1 minute chart. So consecutive bearish candles, no tail at the top. So I'm gonna just, come on. I'm gonna What happened to my, I want to change, I want to put, sorry. To put my setup. Okay, this is what happened. My mouse is not responding. Oh, okay, never mind. 1 minute chart. So yeah, dear. 1910, 2910, 2908. Moving average are pointing lower. We keep having consecutive 1 minute candle, consecutive bearish 1 minute candle with no tail at the top. So it's bearish. It's bearish. We could stick over here to see the very next minute. What is the highest point euro vs dollar hits in 2 hours? Okay, I'm gonna come to you, Godfrey. I'm gonna come to you just a second to see gold 1 minute chart for gold for Tom. So it's still a strong move. We don't have an indication yet for a pause for the end of this 1 minute decline, but it's a 1 minute decline, so that could seen very, very soon. Let me get prepared for euro dollar 2 hours chart for Godfrey in the meantime. 2 hours, 2 hours. Okay. Okay, this is still negative. Well, let's come back in a bit. Let's jump into the 4 hour chart to help Godfrey. And Muhammad asked for euro dollar as well. Sorry, I missed that. So, 2 hours, euro dollar. Okay, the resistance is still on the latest swing high, which is the 109.46. But what we are seeing over here is a clear consolidation with resistance at 109.46 and support. Oops. And support at that should be by 20 period moving average 108.55. So my dear friend, yeah, it's consolidating. So the highest level is that one, is the high of the day. So as long as it doesn't break that, only if it breaks that, basically, we could, basically it's a very important level. Why? Because this level, it used to be a nice resistance level back in, as you can see, back in November and back in July last year. So something, food for thought, basically, for the week or even the upcoming week, guys. Okay, something that Godfrey just, okay, so a move of euro dollar within the week or even next week above then 109.45. Let's round it up. 109.50. Consecutive highs above 109.45 could open the doors to 2024 highs. So 110, 111, even 112 territory. Okay? It was a sharp rally seen especially in February. It doesn't run out of steam yet. So very important to keep an eye on euro dollar within the week and Monday morning as well. Okay. I'm going to get back to gold 1 minute chart for Tom. Tom, we started seeing some tails at the top. Obviously, we don't have a bullish candle yet, but this is calling for a change in momentum. Okay, so what that means in these cases, appropriate risk management suggests locking some profits, closing partially your position, okay, or consider exiting the market. But yeah, something, let me just to have some clarity. However, the moving average, I keep pointing lower, so that might be just correction before another attempt to the downside, basically some sideways move before another attempt to the upside. So in order to get some clarity, I'm gonna use my parabolic SAR, and even, to be honest, oh, boom, just broken. Okay, so yeah, decline is still on. Oh, something happened. Let me check the news, guys. Okay, and let me jump into, okay, look at that. Remember, that's a zone, a very important zone. Retested. Something happened just now. Let me just check the calendar. What's wrong? What's going on? Let me check the news. Okay, it's Canada. Is it Canada? Is it? No, Canada's in 20 minutes. What caused that extra? Is it some pending orders that have been triggered and open at 29:10? That could be the case, because I remember that in the beginning of this live, I mentioned, guys, that we might have some heated pending orders above 29:20 and below 29:10. So that might be the reason. And actually, it's not the reason. Mr. Reagan commented about tariffs. Let me check. What did he said? One of the direct beneficiaries of Trump tariffs was the U.S. steel industry, as he blocked off competition. Let's see what Mr. Reagan said. Tariffs lead to the industries being reliant on the government. No, I don't think it's Reagan. It's just some positions have been triggered below 29.10. Yeah. So yeah, decline is on, and we need to keep an eye on, guys. Okay, Tommy's a 1 minute trader, but for everyone else, we need to keep an eye on this support zone. Okay, remember what we said. If we have a confirmed closure below it, that will show that gold exited range. So attention will turn to 28.95 level, the round 2900s and 28.95. So isn't anything else, guys, because we have been live for more than an hour. So yeah, dollar yen remains well supported. I showed earlier that is in an up channel, and that remains the case. The pound yen earlier, as we saw, broken the first resistance of the day, so intraday still positive. Euro dollar consolidates, so attention, we should keep an eye on the on the 109 level, round number, an immediate support level. Actually just broken it, but still the moving average are not like are quite flat. Momentum is flat. Yeah, no, 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 no. What else? What else? What else? Aussie still consolidates, but a very interesting formation to keep an eye on today and within the week. Dow intraday consolidates after retesting 42,000. It returns below it, so consolidates. Where's the dollar index? Our dollar holds the gains of the day. It holds the gains of the day. So far so good. And that's pretty much it. Dear, it's in a bearish trend. If okay, actually, no, it's not in a sell trend. It's just stopped. Basically, let's see. Okay, hopefully you have closed your positions, dear. So yeah, overall, no, we cannot say that it's in a bearish trend. No, it's sideways. Okay, and yeah, so this is the 1 minute chart. So the the short position, the short the downtrend ended. Now it seems that we have a correction or something at the beginning of an uptrend for the 1 minute chart only. Overall, however, is stuck. Has stuck the last 2-3 days. Actually, more than the last 2 weeks since last week. Between has stuck between 28.80 and 29.25 level. So guys, I'm gonna call it a date. Paul, what about Dow Jones? Sorry, what about Dow Jones? Consolidating intraday. Overall, remains under pressure. As I mentioned earlier, we have seen an M formation. If we keep seeing lower lows and lower highs, the next support level is at 40,300 and 39,000 territory for the medium and long term for Dow Jones. Intraday, however, is consolidating. Yeah, it's consolidating. It's flat. Look at that, flat moving averages, flat RSI. Stochastic points lower, but the price is still just stuck. Doesn't It's not in line with stochastic, you see, it's just sideways. Why the gap of gold on one? Let me just see which gap. I didn't notice a gap. Where is it? Gold. Which gap, dear? Okay, let me change it to candlesticks, not Japanese ones. Let me put again your gold. Oh God. Gold. Just a second. Gold. Where's gold? Here it is. Which gap? I cannot spot a gap. Where are you facing gap? Sorry. At the bottom, I cannot see gap. I don't know exactly which time frame you are on, but I don't see gap. Um, Tom, gold is bouncing back after news. We cannot really tell whether it's a correction or just a short-lived rebound there. Okay, overall remains sideways. Okay, we haven't seen any exit, let's say, breakout of the ranging market so far. Dear, the way to start, try to read anything that we have online in our website, come to our webinars. If you I don't know where you are, I mean, where you live, but for some countries we have local officers. Feel free to visit them and start with webinars. I will tell you the basic ones. We have understanding the forex basics, and I mean everything is on our website, the past webinar page. So yeah, as a start, you can start by watching some webinars that we have for beginners. Whenever you are free, basically, and available, open a demo account as well, in order to realize what we're talking about, and you will get there. It needs patience, it needs constant learning, it needs to follow the news. Okay, it needs time. Okay, it needs commitment, it needs time. Guys, I'm gonna call it a date because we have been more than an hour here. The bias on Nasdaq intraday, I'm sure what kind of time frame there. Nasdaq, very, very quick for you. Here we have intraday, we have a correction, okay, but let me just be precise. I'm very unlucky. Imagine my mouse is out of battery and I'm struggling to draw a channel. Oh my god. Okay. Basically, what I wanted to show dear Justice is that this is a daily chart. Okay. Okay. Can I do that? Finally. Let me fix it. Okay, so oh god, what's going on? It's not complying. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, what I wanted to show basically is that we remain in a downtrend. Okay, it is in a downtrend. So this intraday, let's say, over the last 2 days since yesterday, this rebound doesn't mean anything for the time being. It doesn't mean anything because we don't see a break above the channel, the downtrend channel that we have seen since the since February 18th. So this to be just a correction before another attempt to the downside, considering that momentum is still negative. So RSI is at 30, our moving average, the daily ones, still in a sharp slope. So overall the outlook is negative, and the so far rebound that we have seen since yesterday, it looks to be just a correction before before an attempt to the downside again. So the ceiling is somewhere at, if I'm not mistaken, at 19,090, is it? Okay, I cannot draw it right now in order to be sure. But if you put a channel over here from here to here, you're gonna have a channel. As long as you don't see a move outside the channel, above the channel, it means that this is just a correction before another attempt to the downside again. In general, the geopolitics, the central bank, everything, politics-wise, trade war, the discussion between Russia, US, and everything and the AI spending for the time being are not helping the stocks. The stocks remain actually in a significant decline. Also remember that the stocks have been overvalued the last 2 years. But nonetheless, for the time being, this correction that we have seen since yesterday, it looks to be just a correction. So a failure to extend higher, and we have seen basically another lower high. I will just confirm that the downtrend is still on. The down channel is still on. You mean ours, the HFM ones? Please visit HFM website, okay? HFM website. And we have at the very bottom, let me share the screen. And you see, this is our website. Sorry, I have the, okay, this is the website. On the left hand side, oh, it's my head on. Let me just, Gabriel. So, okay. Here, okay, so, yeah, go to our website and the support team will bring you in contact with an agent that can help you. But in the meantime, as I said, visit our website. We have webinars, we have seminars, we have events, focus, commitment, constant learning. This will help you to start eventually. What is what of dollar yen? We covered it earlier. Remains in a rally this week. So intraday, at least the positive bias remains. I mean, even in the 1 hour chart, even in the 30-minute chart, it seems that there is the dollar yen hasn't, the dollar yen rally so far this week hasn't run out of steam yet, or we don't have a sign that could indicate that it's running out of steam yet. Momentum is rising, so the outlook for dollar yen hasn't changed so far today. They are at the Dodun. Overall, I mean, the daily chart, it's in a downtrend. So the overall trend is down, okay? But intraday is positive. So, yeah, so overall outlook under pressure. Intraday and within the week, it seems that it sustains and there is further room to the upside, let's say, with the next ceiling at 149.30, and if that breaks, the next ceiling is at 150 level for dollar yen. Guys, I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you very, very much. Dear, don't worry. The live will stay in YouTube channel, so you can move back to the beginning of the live and watch everything that we cover, all the technical and fundamental analysis that we have done for gold, for euro, for dollar, for pound yen, for euro yen, for dollar yen, for Aussie. Okay, as soon as I close the session, you can watch the recording. Thank you very much. we have crypto, and actually we have a new crypto account, please send a message to our support team and they will help you. Okay? Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead. Take care and see you again. Actually, I think we might have another live streaming for PPI. Anyway, stay tuned with our social media, subscribe in our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook in order to take alerts regarding any new event that we're scheduling. Thank you very, very much. Have a great day ahead. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.